Mike Tyson is spilling the facts about the wild parties thrown by none other than music mogul Diddy.
I remember him, he used to have crates when he used to have my after parties and stuff. Also when they were throwing parties. I remember
This
him.
is when he was the CEO, founder of Bad Boy.
No, I don't think he was Bad Boy yet. No, he
Really?
wasn't him. Damon Dash and all those guys, they weren't on yet.
Known for their long-standing friendship, Tyson's recent revelations about what happens behind closed doors have everyone talking.
Before he was Diddy, I knew him for a long time. When I first became champ, I knew him.
As claims of harassment and more come out against the star, people see a side they rarely see.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother.
What dark crimes happened in his house over the years? Join us as Mike Tyson tells the truth about his experiences at Diddy's infamous parties. Number 1. Federal agents raid Diddy's luxurious properties.
The story everyone is talking about today. The feds raided homes in Los Angeles and Miami that belonged to rap mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs.
The Department of Homeland Security has confirmed to CNN that federal agents have raided several properties owned by Sean Diddy Combs.
The Department of Homeland Security has just confirmed to CNN that federal law enforcement agents have raided properties owned by musician and producer Sean Diddy Combs.
Picture this: federal agents showing up at the fancy homes of a major music mogul. This has surely shaken things up for Diddy and made everyone pay attention. For a long while, many fans of hip-hop thought the accusations against Diddy were just people trying to bring him down, especially after he sued the huge company Diageo. In that lawsuit, Diddy complained that Diageo didn't invest properly in his alcohol brands and only sold them in certain city areas, treating them like they were lesser than other celebrity brands like George Clooney's Casamigos tequila. Though Diddy and Diageo ended their deal without too much fuss earlier this year, there were rumors that Diageo was upset over being embarrassed by Diddy and might be looking to get even. But now, with the government stepping in and a new lawsuit from Lil Rod, people are starting to think maybe there's more to Diddy's story than just a business disagreement. Adding to all this drama, there are new complaints of harassment and assault against Sean Diddy Combs. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who worked on Combs' latest album, claims that Diddy harassed and assaulted him while he was staying at Diddy's houses.
At a time, 16 hours to 24 hours a day. Sometimes, Diddy would request certain works to be done and tell us don't go to sleep until it's done. And the truth is, we'll be up for days trying to accomplish that.
The lawsuit includes some pretty serious evidence like videos and pictures that reveal a side of Diddy many people haven't seen. Lil Rod's accusations have really thrown a spotlight on what might be happening in Diddy's private life. So why is all this important? Well, celebrities like Diddy often seem untouchable, living lives that are so different from ours. But when someone like Mike Tyson starts talking, and lawsuits and federal raids make headlines, it shows that they can face serious issues too.
Investigators raiding 2 homes owned by hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
It makes you realize that their world isn't just glitz and glamour. There are real problems and real consequences. Plus, for fans of music and celebrity culture, these developments can be quite shocking and change how people view their favorite stars. All of this also has a ripple effect beyond just the people directly involved. When someone as famous as Diddy faces these kinds of problems, it can influence the music industry, how fans interact with celebrity brands, and even how businesses handle partnerships with celebrities. It's more than just gossip. It's about the impact on culture and commerce, too. This situation is unfolding and could lead to more revelations about what celebrities do when they think the public isn't watching. It's a reminder that the images we see in the media are just one part of the story. Diddy's infamous gatherings, often called freak-offs, have become the talk of the town, and not just for being over-the-top parties. What's really turning heads is that Diddy was secretly filming these events. The parties, which have led to multiple legal complaints, featured an alarming mix of forced workers, hidden cameras, and deeply compromising recordings of celebrities and politicians. These parties didn't just involve music and dancing. According to a former Diddy employee named Lil Rod, these events often had substances being passed around openly. He claims there was an incident at Diddy's place in Miami where male workers were brought in, and he was potentially assaulted. Lil Rod also says he has proof that Diddy handed out alcohol spiked with substances to underage and forced workers at his various properties across California. But there's more. Lil Rod's accusations include some very serious spying by Diddy. He allegedly made intimate tapes of well-known people at these parties using cameras he had hidden all around his fancy homes. When Lil Rod was living and traveling with Diddy, he found out that there were hidden cameras in every single room. These cameras caught a lot of people, famous singers, company bosses, politicians, and sports stars, on video without them knowing about it. This invasion of privacy is huge. The danger of ruining someone's reputation with these tapes is real and scary. Just the fact that these tapes exist makes you question how far Diddy would go to get such personal footage. People were filmed without their permission, which is a big no-no. Lil Rod even mentioned a specific tape of a celebrity named Stevie J, hinting that Diddy has sensitive videos of everyone who came to his parties. According to Lil Rod, Diddy has collected so much of this secret footage.
The new allegations against Sean Diddy Combs, a music producer, is accusing hip-hop mogul of assaulting him and forcing him to have sex with prostitutes.
That he feels he can do whatever he wants, including breaking the law. He seems to think he's too powerful to be held accountable. This collection of tapes might be Diddy's way of keeping a hold over many important and famous people. If he has embarrassing or harmful videos of them, they might be less likely to cross him. The whole situation raises a bunch of red flags about what goes on behind closed doors at celebrity parties. These are not just simple get-togethers where people hang out and have fun. Instead, they seem to be carefully planned events where guests might be filmed without their knowledge, and where their private lives could be exposed and used against them. For anyone who ends up at these parties, there's a lot at stake. Being secretly filmed can lead to big personal and professional problems if those videos ever come out. It makes you think twice about the glamorous lives of celebrities and what they might be hiding. This kind of behavior by Diddy shows a dark side to the celebrity party scene, where trust and respect are often ignored for personal gain. The scandal deepens, exposing the dark side of Diddy's glamorous parties and the truths they hide. Number 2. The Lil Rod Key Puzzle. These revelations by Lil Rod could have a huge impact on how people view celebrity parties and the people who host them. It's not just about having a good time anymore, it's about protecting yourself from being caught in a compromising situation that could be broadcast to the world. The more people learn about what might be happening at these parties, the more cautious they might be about diving into the celebrity lifestyle. This could change how celebrities are perceived and how they interact with each other, shifting the dynamics of high-profile gatherings. The legal battles involving Diddy are revealing some pretty unsavory tactics, especially with Lil Rod claiming that Diddy used a compromising video of Stevie J to manipulate people around him. Diddy supposedly showed Lil Rod this video to imply that such actions were normal in the music world, especially since Lil Rod looked up to Stevie J. It seems Diddy was using his insider videos not just for personal amusement, but as leverage to sway others into thinking that such behavior was standard in their circles. Diddy's influence appears to be built on a foundation of scandalous activities, illegal substance use involving minors inappropriately, intimately assaulting individuals, and secretly filming his guests without their consent. It's even come to light that not only celebrities but also politicians and athletes might have been caught on Diddy's hidden cameras during these infamous parties. This brings up an interesting point about Mike Tyson, who has openly admitted to attending Diddy's parties in the past. Tyson has always spoken highly of Diddy, but these recent revelations might cast those memories in a new light. Digging deeper, online sleuths have unearthed a video clip where Tyson seems to physically distance himself from Diddy during an interview. This small gesture has sparked speculation. Did Tyson sense something off about Diddy back then? While it's not clear exactly which athletes might be featured in Diddy's secret recordings, it's evident that some celebrities are more deeply involved than initially thought. The lawsuit also subtly suggests that rapper Meek Mill might have been involved with Diddy. It doesn't directly name Mill, but describes someone with a very similar background, hinting that he might be one of the individuals caught up in Diddy's manipulative games.
One of the former producers that was working with Diddy. In the court documents, his lawsuit against Diddy, they started circulating. One of the allegations was that Diddy had sex with a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Immediately, people identified the rapper as Meek Mill.
This kind of indirect naming has caused quite a stir in the media, leading to rampant speculation and gossip about who might be involved and in what capacity. This has had personal consequences for Meek Mill, who found himself at the center of a storm of rumors about his private life. This was escalated when DJ Academics publicly challenged Mill to respond to these rumors, putting him in a position where he felt compelled to defend his lifestyle and personal choices. On Twitter, Mill strongly refuted any such behavior, emphasizing his integrity and expressing dismay at seeing these rumors spread across every blog and social media platform. These events shed light on the darker sides of celebrity culture where privacy is barely existent, and one's image can be tarnished by association and rumor. They paint a picture of Diddy's parties not just as glamorous gatherings, but potentially as setups where the influential exploit vulnerabilities under the guise of normal industry happenings. These allegations, if true, could significantly alter public perceptions of the individuals involved and raise serious questions about the ethics and privacy violations in the entertainment industry. Moreover, these revelations prompt a broader discussion about the nature of celebrity interactions and the hidden, sometimes unsavory dynamics at play. They challenge the public's perception of the glitzy life led by these figures, revealing a world where manipulation and power plays are not uncommon. This ongoing scandal could lead to a shift in how celebrities are viewed and how they manage their personal and public relationships. It's a reminder that beneath the surface of these high-profile lives, there are real and sometimes disturbing issues that can have far-reaching effects on their careers and public images. But what about Diddy and Usher? The buzz all started with a lawsuit that drops a few hints without naming names, but everyone quickly figured out they're talking about Usher. Why? Well, the guy just recently rocked the Super Bowl in 2024 and had a big show in Las Vegas in 2022 called Over the Years. The clues were too good to pass up. This lawsuit has people chatting about how Diddy has been acting around Usher, and not in a good way. There are loads of videos floating around that show Diddy and Usher together, and something about those clips just doesn't look right. It gets creepier because there are rumors that Diddy and Usher might have been more than just friends, and these rumors go way back to when Usher was just a kid. Let's rewind to when Usher was a young, promising singer. He caught the eye of Reid, a big name in music, who thought Usher could really make it big. Reid hooked Usher up with Diddy, hoping to jumpstart the kid's career. So Usher, only 14 at the time, was sent off to New York to hang out with Diddy and learn the ropes. They called this the Puffy Flavor Camp, which sounds cool, but really, what was it? Imagine being Usher, young and away from home, hanging with Diddy in the big city. Usher himself mentioned later that he saw stuff going on that he just couldn't wrap his head around, stuff no kid should be seeing. Then there was this weird moment at one of Diddy's parties years later when Diddy made an offhand comment that made everyone pause. He mentioned how close he and Usher used to be, kind of implying something more. That definitely raised a few eyebrows. With new details emerging, more celebrities get tangled in the controversy, revealing their potential involvement. Number 3. Diddy's downfall reveals hidden truths. But this isn't just about Diddy and Usher. This whole scandal is much bigger, pulling in other famous faces thanks to the so-called Lil Rod lawsuit, which suggests that there might have been some wild parties at Diddy's place. And then there's Mike Tyson, who seems to have a soft spot for Diddy. Considering Tyson's own past, his defense of Diddy makes you wonder if he's just looking out for a fellow celeb, or if there's more to their connection. It's kind of like all these famous folks might be covering for each other, keeping the not-so-nice stuff out of the public eye. This whole thing isn't just a simple story of a young singer getting his big break. It's turning into a peek at the darker side of the celebrity lifestyle, where the bright lights can sometimes hide the real goings-on behind the scenes. It's a world where being rich and famous can twist the truth, and where friendships might not be all they seem. Now, as this drama unfolds, everyone's watching to see what else comes out about what really happens at those glitzy, high-profile gatherings. It's more than just gossip. It's a revealing look at how power and fame can lead to some pretty questionable actions and alliances. People are beginning to question everything they thought they knew about these stars, wondering just how deep this rabbit hole goes. It's not just about the music or the fame anymore. It's about figuring out what's true in a world where appearances can be very deceiving. Mike Tyson's life has always been like an open book, filled with ups and downs, but the summer of 1991 brought a chapter that nobody expected. The champion boxer, known for knocking out opponents in the ring, faced accusations that put him in a completely different kind of fight, one that played out in the media and courtrooms instead of a boxing arena. The accusation? He was charged with attacking Desiree Washington, a young woman competing in a beauty pageant, and this scandal changed how people saw him forever. Desiree Washington, a bright young woman crowned Miss Black Rhode Island, suddenly found herself in the national spotlight for reasons far beyond her beauty queen achievements. It all started at the Miss Black America pageant in Indianapolis, a place filled with celebrities, including Mike Tyson. Their paths crossed seemingly like a chance encounter from a movie. A young hopeful meets a big star. But the story took a dark turn. Washington accepted an invitation to Tyson's hotel room at the upscale Canterbury Hotel, expecting maybe some conversation, some insight into the celebrity world. What followed, however, was not the star-studded experience she had imagined. Instead of leaving with an autograph or a fun celebrity tale, Washington left the hotel deeply distressed and headed straight to the emergency room. She accused Tyson of assaulting her, a claim that threw Tyson's name into a storm of media scrutiny. Overnight, Tyson went from being a celebrated boxing hero to a headline scandal. The press was all over it, eager to spill out every detail of the story. They painted Tyson as a villain, a stark contrast to his public persona as a formidable but respected athlete. The media frenzy surrounding the case was intense. It wasn't just a news story, it was a spectacle. The trial that followed wasn't only about Tyson and Washington, it was about so much more. It touched on serious topics like consent, the power of celebrity, and what justice really means when the person in the dock is a global superstar. People were glued to their screens, reading up on every development. Opinions were strong and divided. Some felt Tyson was a victim of his fame. Others saw Washington as the brave face of justice. When the jury finally delivered their verdict, it felt like the climax of a blockbuster film. Tyson, the once youngest heavyweight champion, was found guilty. The decision didn't just ripple through the courtroom, it made waves across the world. Conversations erupted everywhere, from coffee shops to office water coolers. People debated not just the verdict but also the roles that race and celebrity status played in the trial's outcome. This verdict marked a massive turning point in Tyson's life. It wasn't just about a fallen sports icon. This was a moment that made people question how we idolize celebrities and what happens when they fall from grace. Tyson's conviction reshaped his image and legacy drastically. He was no longer just the dynamic, powerful boxer young athletes aspired to emulate. He became a central figure in a narrative that was about much more than boxing. It was a sobering reminder of how quickly fame can turn sour, and how the glamorous world of celebrities is often less shiny than it appears. Mike Tyson's 1990s conviction was a real eye-opener, showing that even the most famous can face harsh consequences. When Tyson, a powerhouse in boxing, landed in prison, it was a huge fall from grace. His once intimidating presence was reduced to a quiet existence behind bars, and it changed how everyone viewed him. Gone were the lucrative deals, and his license to box was nearly taken away. This was no minor setback. It was a crushing blow to both his career and his image. Tyson, who once ruled the boxing world, was now dealing with the biggest fight of his life. And it wasn't in the ring. Old scandals resurfaced, showing that the past is never truly forgotten, especially for stars like Tyson and Diddy. Number 4. Diddy and Tyson confront the horrible past. Fast forward to 2023, and it seems Tyson hadn't fully escaped his past. This time, a woman from New York brought up old allegations from the 1990s, and she was asking for $5 million. The New York Adult Survivors Act, a new law from 2022, made her lawsuit possible. It lets adults who were victims of personal assault file lawsuits, even if many years have passed. Her lawsuit, which surfaced during a time when society is more attentive to issues of misconduct and justice, describes a troubling incident involving Tyson after a night out. According to her, what started as a party invite ended in a nightmare in Tyson's limousine, where she claimed he assaulted her despite her clear objections. Meanwhile, Sean "Diddy" Combs, another big name, also found himself facing serious accusations from the 1990s. Joy Dickerson Neal accused him of some pretty awful things, including assault. These charges paint a very different picture of the famous musician, suggesting that his path to success might have had some very dark moments. Dickerson Neal, who was a college student and appeared in a music video with Diddy, never imagined that her association with him would lead to such distress. Diddy's representatives quickly dismissed these claims as attempts to extort money from the star, suggesting that the lawsuit was just a way to cash in on his fame. This kind of defense is pretty typical among celebrities. Paint the accuser as someone just out to get money. This dismissal raises big questions about how accusations against powerful figures are often brushed aside, and whether money and fame can shield someone from the consequences of their actions. These ongoing legal battles against Tyson and Diddy aren't just about two individuals, they're part of a larger conversation about celebrity, power, and accountability. These stories reveal a side of fame that isn't about the glamour or the spotlight, but about how people with a lot of power sometimes misuse it. They show that beneath the success and the public adoration, there can be actions that are deeply harmful. The implications of these cases stretch far beyond just Tyson and Diddy. They challenge us to think about who we admire and why, urging a deeper reflection on the real character of our idols. It's about understanding that the charm and allure of celebrities can sometimes hide troubling behaviors, and recognizing this can be disillusioning. It prompts a critical look at how society handles allegations against the famous, often torn between idolization and the pursuit of justice. Dickerson Neal somewhat reluctantly decided to go out with Diddy, even though something felt off. She had no idea just how badly this decision would turn out. On their date, she left her drink alone for just a moment, and Diddy allegedly used this chance to slip something into it. A few days later, the awful truth hit her. A guy friend told her he'd seen a video of her, Diddy, and other men. The video wasn't just a private thing, it had been shared around, leaving her shocked and deeply hurt. This invasion of her privacy shattered her sense of safety and forced her to drop out of college, derailing her future completely. The emotional damage was intense. She felt humiliated and embarrassed, constantly worried about who else might have seen the disgraceful video. Her lawsuit not only shares her painful story, but also ties in another woman's horrifying experience. Another victim, known as Jane Doe, came forward with her own terrible story about Sean "Diddy" Combs. Her situation involved not just Diddy, but also the singer Aaron Hall. Jane Doe's account is just as horrifying and suggests a troubling pattern of behavior, where trust is broken and power is misused. These stories reveal a darker side of a world that seems all about flashy parties and fame. Behind the closed doors of Diddy's parties, things were happening that were far from the glamorous image often shown to the public. It's a reminder that what we see in celebrity culture isn't always the truth. The reality can be a lot more grim, involving real people getting hurt. The experiences of these women are a wake-up call about the hidden and harmful sides of some powerful figures in the entertainment industry. It's concerning how these kinds of things can happen, surrounded by the glitter of high-profile lifestyles. The parties might look fun and exciting from the outside, but for some, like Dickerson Neal and Jane Doe, they've been places of pain and betrayal. Discussing these issues openly might help prevent such incidents in the future by highlighting the importance of respecting others' boundaries and consent. What happened to these women is a powerful reminder of the need for change in how we view and interact with celebrity culture. It's about seeing beyond the surface and recognizing the human element and the potential for misuse of power. According to the lawsuit, Jane Doe and her friend were initially excited about an invitation from Diddy and Aaron Hall to an after-party following an MCA event. What seemed like a chance to rub shoulders with celebrities quickly turned into a horrific ordeal that would deeply affect them for the rest of their lives. At Aaron Hall's apartment, the night took a terrible turn. Jane Doe alleges that Diddy pushed her into doing things she didn't want to do. The situation worsened when Aaron Hall entered the room, overpowered her, and acted violently, ignoring her protests completely. At the same time, Jane Doe's friend faced her own nightmare in another part of the apartment. She claims that both Diddy and Aaron Hall forced her into distressing and unwanted acts. These experiences left both women with deep emotional scars, highlighting the severe impact of such traumatic events. As more of the scandal is revealed, we see the impact on those involved and how it shakes up the world of celebrity power. Number 5. The shocking truth of Diddy's after-parties. But the terror didn't end there. Fearing that his girlfriend would find out what had happened, Diddy reportedly took drastic measures to keep things quiet. He went to the place where Jane Doe and her friend were staying, and in a frightening display of control, he allegedly choked Jane Doe until she lost consciousness. This act of violence adds a darker layer to the already grim story, showing Diddy's willingness to use physical force to manage his image and silence others. These horrifying experiences at what was supposed to be a fun after-party expose a troubling side of celebrity culture hidden behind the glamorous facade. It raises serious questions about the real character of people like Diddy, who are often placed on a pedestal. The glitz and glam of celebrity parties often mask the potential for exploitation. This story is a stark reminder of the power imbalances that can exist in these environments, and the way some celebrities might misuse their power to take advantage of others. The accounts of Jane Doe and her friend shed light on the disturbing underbelly of celebrity gatherings. It's essential to reflect on how often such attacks occur and are brushed under the rug to protect powerful figures in the entertainment industry. The incidents described in the lawsuit are not just about individual allegations. They illustrate a pattern that could be more common than we'd like to believe. This should prompt a broader discussion about the accountability of celebrities and the protections needed for individuals who find themselves in these high-risk situations. Understanding these stories is crucial for recognizing the signs of manipulation and coercion in seemingly glamorous settings. It's about seeing past the surface to the potential dangers that lurk in celebrity circles. The tale of Jane Doe and her friend compels us to think critically about whom we admire and the hidden realities of the environments we might envy. It's a call to demand better safeguards and more transparent behavior from those who have significant influence and power in society. As this legal drama keeps unfolding, everyone is trying to wrap their heads around some pretty nasty accusations involving Diddy and Aaron Hall. The latest court case against Diddy is a serious one.
Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs are asking a New York court to throw out portions of a civil suit that accuses the singer of assault and revenge porn.
It says that he, along with his business buddy Harve Pierre, who used to be a big deal at Bad Boy Entertainment, did something really terrible to a girl who was only 17 and still in high school. This all supposedly went down back in 2003, and now, years later, we're hearing about what might have happened. Jane Doe, that's the name the girl is using in court, says she was just a junior in high school when she got caught up in this mess. She claims that in 2003, Harve Pierre came up to her at a lounge in Michigan, dropping Diddy's name and bragging about how close they were. Pierre even called Diddy right there to show off their connection.
And I just want to tell him thank you for all of the support over the years. Thank you for working hard. I love you. Like a brother, I'm proud of you. The president, Harve.
According to Jane Doe, Pierre and Diddy managed to convince her to hop on a private jet and head over to Diddy's personal recording studio, which he runs himself. The court documents have some pictures that Jane Doe says were taken that very night, with one of them showing her sitting on Diddy's lap. These photos are key because they prove she was there, and they make you wonder exactly what was going on between her, Diddy, and Pierre. Once she was at Diddy's studio, things reportedly took a dark turn. The lawsuit claims that Diddy, Pierre, and another guy who hasn't been named gave her alcohol and then did some really horrible things to her. It's laid out like a big plan in the lawsuit, describing how she was taken by private jet to New York City, where everything supposedly happened. These are heavy accusations, and if they're true, they could land Diddy in a lot of trouble, maybe even behind bars. But here's the thing. Diddy is not just some rich guy, he's a billionaire. That kind of money can make problems go away that would stick to the rest of us. There's a real chance he could just settle this whole thing quietly. If he does, we might never get the full story about what went down that night. That leaves us all guessing and wondering about what really happened, without much hope of ever getting the full scoop. Now, if you think about it, this isn't just about a night that went wrong. It's about how power and fame can sometimes be used in really ugly ways. Diddy's got both in spades, and this lawsuit kind of forces us to look at the darker side of celebrity culture, where the glitz and glam might cover up some pretty grim stuff. If Jane Doe's story is true, then it's a harsh reminder that being in the limelight doesn't always mean you're the good guy. The more you dig into this, the more complex it gets. You start to see how connections, influence, and big money play out behind the scenes. These hidden dynamics reveal a world where the rules seem to bend for the wealthy and influential. It's a sobering reminder that in the echelons of power, transparency is often sacrificed for discretion. It's not just about one bad night. It's about how people with power think they can manipulate situations and people without consequences. This case could peel back the curtain on some of that backstage drama that usually stays hidden from the public eye. So as we keep an eye on how this all plays out in court, it's a chance to think about bigger issues, like accountability and justice in the high-stakes world of celebrities. It's about more than just gossip. It's about looking at the systems that let this kind of thing slide and asking whether we're okay with that. As this case goes on, it'll probably reveal a lot about what goes on when the cameras are off and the microphones are unplugged. And whatever the outcome, it's likely to leave us with some big questions about fame, power, and right and wrong. Could there be more shocking riddles hidden in Mike Tyson's stories about Diddy's parties? What do you think lies beneath the surface of these celebrity gatherings? Share your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more intriguing updates.